Welcome back. Honestman, here with some Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. I've already played through this game once, and getting ready to go through a little more hardcore on hard mode, and trying to clean up a few achievements that are outstanding, more than anything else. But this is going to be a bit of an optimized playthrough, a little bit of a power gamer playthrough. So we're going to be doing some hopefully interesting things, and also trying to complete all side quests. I think there's something in the order of 35, and it didn't achieve all of those on my first blind playthrough, so hoping to knock them all out this time. So without further ado, let's jump in. In another place, in another life, another child of man blazes your path.
How dark it's gotten. Have you a light source?
Let's get our lantern on. And this gentleman here, we are going to be piloting through the prologue. And we may cross paths with him again someday.
The dragon's roost is just beyond. We should hurry.
Since this is just a prologue, I'm going to try to move briskly.
The final station of our road.
And in classic hero's journey fashion, we very quickly meet the bad guy.
A fall here means certain death. This way.
Forge in my fire the next link in the endless chain.
We have triumphed. A gateway to the
Yeah, here I'm going to summon a couple of pawns, which are just AI-controlled companions. And this will basically be a standard operating procedure through the majority of the game. You'll have a party of 4, including yourself, and you just roll around as a group. Action-adventure style.
is our valor pit against the worms of evil.
I'll have a look around. Heading out.
Oh boy.
I'll hold it. Finish it quickly.
Oh, I'm going to finish him.
I'll strike the bullet.
We have triumphed.
Everybody? So as you saw there, my buddy here, Saldi, he keeps grabbing enemies, setting them up to be hit. That's one of the interesting mechanics in this game. That sort of, grabbing the enemy for your companions. In addition, they have a climbing mechanic, which really invokes sort of shadows of the Colossus
Come, master.
in certain parts.
A goblins.
And I think that's to the game's credit. I think what Shadows of the Colossus did,
Right this way.
especially for its time, I don't feel like a lot of other games have succeeded in those same sort of moments. You know, climbing a giant enemy, attacking its weak spot.
Snow harpy. Lure them down and strike.
So I do like what they try to do a lot here.
Blades of our steel. Monsters have made a shambles of this place.
But I think this game's strength, I think they try to strike a balance between Skyrim and Dark Souls, with some Shadow of the Colossus mixed in. I think it compares poorly to those games if they're trying to go strength for strength. So in terms of Skyrim, like, Skyrim's the better game if you're looking for adventure and exploration. This is definitely not Skyrim. It's a respectable game world, don't get me wrong, but not in the same league. Similar, you know, they try to do the climbing thing on enemies, which is fun, but not the same scale and grandeur as Shadow of the Colossus. And they try to evoke a lot of the same aesthetics as Dark Souls, but it's not Dark Souls. But I don't think any of those are criticisms per se. It's just that I think where they succeed is being able to mix a lot of those things together to create its own sort of experience.
Survivors, let's join
One of the key learnings, let's say, from my first playthrough of this game on normal was that it's just not super difficult. And playing on hard here, I expect that's going to be a very different story. But what I don't think is going to be different is that I think it's still just a matter of time before overcoming the power curve. I think it'll take a little longer on hard mode, perhaps, but I think there's going to be a point where there's no danger anymore. And part of the reason I think that power curve is going to go away, that danger level is going to go away, is because of this group.
Arisen, this way, sir.
And more generally, because of the difficulty of trying to balance encounters against a group. It's one thing in the early going here where these companions are hard-coded, so the developers know exactly who you have at your disposal, and they could hypothetically try to counterbalance that. But once you get a little further in, you can pick your companions and your party composition, so trying to balance against that becomes very difficult. And they try to do it by having a lot of enemies. They'll throw a bunch of enemies at you, but it still doesn't create the same sort of tension that a Dark Souls evokes. And another reason it's hard to balance, too, is because of the relative power level of the companions. 2 of the 3 companions are pawns that you pull in from other players' games. And unless you're trying to deliberately make the game more difficult, you're going to pull in a strong pawn, right? And the strongest of pawns are characters that are basically sort of twinked out with like end game equipment, even if they are a low character level. So then it's just really difficult, right, for the developer to try to counterbalance that when it's a group of 3 and 2 of those 3 might be way overpowered relative to the other 2. But nevertheless, on hard mode here, I think we're going to have a lot of danger, at least in the short term. But we'll see if we can survive this prologue.
I'll get the weapons out of the way. This is a troubling foe.
So just grab on here. And I'm trying to go after the goat first because the goat head heals. And holding on like this drains... Ooh, I don't know what hit me there. It was bad. Grab a heal over here. Holding on consumes stamina, which is the red bar below my green life bar. So you can't hold on forever, and they can buck you off. I think the snake maybe popped me and got me off. I think that might have been what happened. Now I'm on the snake. Yeah, grab somebody else. That's great. Take a little nap. Come on. There we go. Get that stupid snake out of there. Now. Okay, we got rid of the goat. Now we're in business. Now it's just the line. Oh boy, I'm out of stamina. That's bad. And this is another reason it's kind of hard to balance, is because if things get hairy, you can always just kind of hang back. Let the crew do some work. We're just trying to pick our spots here a little bit. I managed to get a perfect lock in there, otherwise I might have been dead. There we go.
Now choose, flee, or step forth. Take hold of what lies beyond. Claim mastery over the eternal ring.
And countless lifetimes come to pass. Okay, so now we get into creating our character, and I'm going to jump ahead to the completion of this process. Okay, I think we're all set here. I've created Mary Abernathy, and I think the most noteworthy piece here is height and weight. The height thresholds for extra small, small, medium, large, extra tall, etc., those aren't known to the best of my knowledge. So I'm attempting to create this character with normal height, medium level height. Hopefully 173.9 qualifies. Weight is more important. That affects your encumbrance, how much you can carry, as well as your stamina regeneration. I wanted to go for small which is 50 to 69, and I'm right at the cusp here, 69. That will lower my encumbrance a little bit, but the sweet spot for staying in average or light or below is higher. Hopefully that makes sense. And stamina regeneration is about 15% faster compared to a medium weight. So it is a little bit of a trade-off. The amount of weight that I can carry total is going to be lower, but I feel like that's going to be a short-term problem. And, you know, looking an eye more towards endgame here, since I'm going to be playing this character a very long time. She walks like a man.
Hear ye, hear ye! The prophets have spoken, friends. The dragon's return is nigh. Join the honourable Duke's ranks and help us be rid of the fell beast. The day's come to lay down rod and reel and take up the sword.
So this definitely made more sense as a male protagonist. There's the female implied love interest there. And just the walking animation, obviously.
It's the dragon! Get to the boat! For your lives, go! Pick a bird!
So here we just need to get killed by the dragon. Should be pretty easy. I did have a male protagonist. I created Honestman on my first playthrough, and I did a female I had Mary as my main pawn, which is the one pawn of the 3 that you create yourself. takes your heart, which is problematic. You need that.
Help me! She's still alive!
Yeah, we got to get her into some new pants. These look extra frumpy. But as I was saying, in my first playthrough, I had Honestman as my main and created Mary as my main pawn. But I'm just going to flip it this time through. We'll use Mary as the main character, and we'll have Honestman be the main pawn. And we're going to make him a big, strong boy. We went small for Mary. Hopefully that worked correctly, and I believe it did. If you look right in the middle where it has the weight and says very light, there's different sections on that bar, and that second section is extra long. That's what we were looking for. That should mean we have more headroom before we slow down and go into average, which is what we're after. We want to stay in that light territory as much as possible. It's arguably a bug that they flipped the medium weight and the small weight encumbrance limits for that threshold, but nevertheless, that's how the game is set up. So trying to play to our advantage there in that sort of sweet spot of encumbrance. And Honestman will be a big, strong boy. He's going to be one step up from medium, which means he'll be in the 90 to 109 range, because we want more encumbrance on him for reasons that'll hopefully be apparent. Vocation, we are definitely going for physical damage here. And when it comes to physical damage for these first 10 levels, fighter is the way you want to go. So even if you eventually want to go ranged, take it for what it's worth. I'd go fighter.
You say it left a glowing scar?
Yes. The wound has closed, and it seems the worst has passed, but her heart lies silent.
If you would face me,
You are sure of this?
Yes.
Ill magic, the work of some curse. Won't no good come of this?
You should be abed. I wish you would not strain yourself so. I am worried for you, cuz.
I know that I have the volume for the NPCs super low. Part of that is by design for cases where I'm going to want to talk over them, which is going to be most of the time. But hopefully the subtitles suffice through the cutscenes here. And first order of business, we want to pick up 3 side quests in town here before we leave. I believe 2 of the 3 we should be able to complete straight away. Here's one.
I'd craft dressings for the wounded had I the makings. Cuz I need a favor. Can you fetch the flowers I need from outside? I need more of the one you see there. The more you...
Alright, so she wants some flowers. This is not a quest that I managed to finish on my first playthrough. I had a hell of a time finding some of these flowers. But we'll get that one going. And then we need 2 more. We have the notice board for quests. We definitely want to pick up everything that isn't an escort quest. And none of these are escort quests, so we're just going to gobble them all up. That's great. Looking for a church. I'm, even having played through the game once already, I'm honestly not sure where the church is.
Oh, hello.
We have a vendor here. I'm probably going to do some modest upgrades there before we leave town. This is another vendor here. She has some equipment as well. I think the church is on top of the hill. That's usually where you put a church. Looks about right. Yep, there we go, chapel. Yeah. Your scriptures are missing. So he lost a book. We need to get it back. This is another one that I did not get on my first playthrough. Ooh, and this guy.
'Twas me. I confess it. I took the father's book from the chapel. I tried to go back and find the book, but I was in such a panic as I ran. I just wanted to look at it. Just forgive me. I cannot I thought to steal a glance and then return it, but I dropped it as I ran.
All right, all right. But yeah, there were a bunch of side quests that I missed. You know, just a matter of talking to the right people at the right time. There it is. So I had failed to complete and or missed a couple of these early ones. Here's your book back.
The scriptures. You found them. Oh, I cannot thank you enough. Now, but I...
Yes, yes. Great, great. And just like that, we're level 2.
I am Benita, a monster. I do not... If you come, what can I do you for?
Oh, and I almost forgot. So Pablos here can manage your inventory, your permanent storage. And we should have a bunch of goodies in here. Indeed. Some lift stones for Bitter Black Isle. We're going to want those shortly, but not yet. And a bunch of equipment. So this just came with the game. I think this was originally DLC content, but we're going to see what we can get from here to improve our defenses. There we go. Looking a little better with some better defense. Still need to do something about the pants, but we'll get there. There he is. He was in the chapel after all.
Hey, a moment.
Frickin' Elvar.
Of anyone, I've news for Merin. Dark news. His brother is dead. We were. I cannot.
All right, so he just needs us to tell somebody that their brother is dead. Which is always great news to deliver. Here he is.
What? Cortez is found?
There we go.
I thank you, cousin. Pray forgive the trouble my cowardice has placed upon you. I live.
All right, there we go. Quest completed. And that was for Grim Tidings, was the name of the quest. Before we leave town, we're going to do a little shopping here. I'm going to pick up the Faded Vest and the Budget Greaves. And we are looking to maximize defense, which is why I selected these specific items. And we're also going to do some Workers' Pants. Okay, this will have to do for now. Would love to upgrade my sword, but I'm going to hold out until I get a little more money. And here is our first pawn, who is named Rook, appropriately enough. Or perhaps ironically. I don't like him. He's got a creepy mustache.
Just appear without a
Yeah, just dudes. They just appear out of nowhere and they fight. They fight for me. Alright, come on, Rook. Yeah, so we definitely need to go to the encampment, but first, there should be some flowers. We had picked up 3 quests in town, completed 2 straight away, and the flower one still needs doing. The flowers are on this tree, I believe are what is desired. Holy cow. Yeah, so we definitely need to be more careful on hard mode. Almost got one shot by that goblin. Fortunately, Rook here is a healer, so that helps.
Strength in numbers, Arisen. Goblin!
Indeed, strength in numbers. So, yeah, I'm going to be collecting flowers for floral delivery. You can see I have 3 out of the 5 needed for the first batch here. Might not show the end of that quest on the video, but just be aware that I will be completing that as soon as humanly possible here.
What of the flower hunt, Master? We mustn't keep her waiting.
Indeed, we need that those flowers, those precious flowers. First, we gotta save Reynard here. Come on, Rook, get some fire going. Go, a little level up. How you doing, Reynard? You okay?
Oh, that was far too close.
Yeah.
I'm called Reynard, a traveling salesman.
So we'll be running into him quite a bit more. He gave us a leather cape, which is great, because we didn't currently have a cape. That'll give us just a little bit more armor. There we go. Looking stylish. Great.
Seems we most like to find what we seek near trees.
Go, rabbits. That was one of the random quests we picked up. I guess random is the wrong word. Notice board quests. Just had to kill 5 rabbits.
We've arrived, Master.
Go, just a short trip up the road.
My knowledge. Can you hear our voice? If memory serves. I know the way, Master.
Well met, Arisen. Can you hear our voice? We speak to you from across great distance. The Pawn Legion has awaited you.
Alright, so I've got to kill something to prove myself. These stones are how I will be able to summon pawns shortly. Another way of thinking about that is how you connect your game world with other players' game worlds to summon the use of their pawns.
The beast comes! Hurry!
And that's our cue. So clearly we need to kill the Cyclops, but there's also a lot of ads around. These little goblinoids. And I think that... Yep, see, he just smacked me. I wasn't careful enough. Because of the difficulty level playing on hard here, I think the prudent course of action is to clear out the ads first. So we're going to thin the quote-unquote easy guys. Hey, we leveled up. Get him to topple, perhaps. Yeah. Get around to the eyeball. Or at least the head.
To the encampment.
Okay, so now, first things first, we're going to talk to this guy. He's going to allow us to learn or set skills. And we only have 740 discipline right now, but it's just enough to get vigilance, which costs 700. That'll give us an extra 100 hit points. Obviously, the value of that's going to diminish with time, but at this point in the game, an extra 100 hit points could very well be the difference between life and death. So let's get that.
With that, your trial is complete. You are the Arisen in truth.
Alright, so now we get to create our main pawn. So I'm going to go through this process. I'm going to create our companion pawn and probably do some more flower picking to finish up that quest. And there's also going to be a little training thing here in the encampment. You have just to fight some wooden dummies and move some crates around and things. Boring stuff, but I just wanted to make a quick note of it. I'm going to knock all of that out, and then we're going to go back to the starting town, and that's where we're going to pick up next time. Until then, thank you all so much. Please like and subscribe. This has been Honestman, and I'll see you next time with more Dragon's Dogma.